The planet was dying. Once green, once alive, once filled with forests that sang in the wind, now nothing but blackened earth and skeletal ruins remained. Humanity had survived the wars, the fires, the endless greed that stripped the soil bare. But survival was not living. On the last habitable world they clung to, food was ash, water was poison, and skies were choked in gray storms. Children were born without knowing the scent of flowers. Elders passed without seeing a horizon not stained by smoke. And yet, in the heart of the wasteland, a handful of humans refused to surrender. Among them, a gardener. Not a soldier, not a scientist, but one who believed in something absurd, that life could return. From a locked vault beneath the ruins, a seed was found. A single seed preserved across centuries of decay. It was small, fragile, almost laughable in its insignificance. But to those who discovered it, it was the weight of worlds. For in that seed, humanity saw not just food or oxygen, but hope. So they built a sanctuary around it, the last garden. With trembling hands and desperate prayers, they planted. The soil rejected it. The air poisoned it. The storms buried it. Yet somehow, against all reason, a green shoot emerged, and the universe would never be the same again. The seed grew, slowly, stubbornly, against every natural law. It grew. Its roots sank into poisoned ground and made it whole again. Its leaves drank toxins and gave back clean air. Its flowers glowed faintly at night, a beacon against the endless dark. But something strange began to happen. As the last garden blossomed, the stars themselves seemed to respond. Astronomers reported distortions in nearby systems, energy signatures resembling organic growth. Dead moons began to show traces of oxygen. Frozen asteroids dripped liquid water. The gardener whispered, "It's not just a plant. It's a call." Alien civilizations noticed too. The Luminar, the Sarathi, even the long silent Valen archives all detected the pulse of life echoing across the void. Some called it a miracle, others called it a weapon. Rumors spread that humanity had created a Genesis engine, a seed capable of reawakening barren worlds. Envoys arrived not to trade, but to take. Yet when they came close, something else happened. Their ships reported visions of fields of green, the sound of rivers, the laughter of children. The last garden was not only healing the world, it was speaking. Not in words, but in the memory of life itself. And it whispered a dangerous truth, that life, once kindled, could spread beyond control. The universe is rarely kind to miracles. What began as reverence turned to fear. Alien war fleets gathered above the ruined earth, demanding the seed that made the last garden bloom. To them, humanity was reckless, unworthy custodians of something so powerful. But humans had learned something through centuries of ruin. You do not surrender the last flame when darkness comes. So outnumbered, outgunned, they stood. Farmers took up arms. Children carried messages across broken cities. Elders taught stories of green fields so the young would remember what they were fighting for. The first strikes turned oceans into glass. The second leveled cities already in ruins. Yet even as humans fell, the garden grew stronger. Its roots reached deeper than stone. Its vines climbed broken towers. Its light pierced the smoke-filled sky. And then the impossible occurred. The garden answered back. Its roots broke through the crust of the earth, spreading into the void itself. Tendrils of living energy lashed out, wrapping around alien ships, not to destroy, but to transform. Metal became bark, engines became flowers, weapons bloomed into petals of light. The fleets panicked. For the first time in millennia, they faced an enemy that did not kill, but remade. And in that chaos, humanity laughed through their tears, for the last seed of Earth had become more than survival. It had become victory. When the fires cleared, the garden remained. Not a fragile sprout anymore, but an ecosystem, a living miracle. Its roots spread across continents, its branches stretched into orbit, its blossoms shed spores that drifted on solar winds. Across the galaxy, barren worlds awoke. Dead planets bloomed with green, frozen moons thawed into seas. Even gas giants bore floating jungles in their upper clouds. Life had returned, not just to Earth, but to the cosmos. And humanity, the so-called fragile species, the scavengers of a dying world, had given it back. Not through weapons, not through domination, but through a seed, a garden, and the refusal to surrender hope. The aliens who once sought to claim it now knelt in reverence. The Luminar declared, "We thought you were ash, but you are flame." Generations later, when children looked up at the stars, they no longer saw a cold, lifeless void. They saw gardens, scattered like jewels across the dark, each one a reminder of the last seed planted and the people who believed in it. And so the legend was born, that when humanity had nothing left, they planted one seed, and that seed grew into forever.